Hi, I'm Claire and this is my spoiler-free review of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I'm going to talk both about the West End play, which I went to see a couple of weeks ago, and the script, which I got at midnight this morning and have been perusing since then. Those two things are extraordinarily different experiences. The play I enjoyed a lot. I could see some flaws in it whilst I was at the theatre, but at the same time it was so easy to get swept up in the magic again because I was with some friends. The entire theatre was really excited. There was some beautiful theatrics going on and it was just such a comfort to be back in the world of Harry Potter again. But the script itself, in the harsh light of day, with just the words on the page, I found a little bit lacking. There were things that didn't make a lot of sense. However, this still gives us a lot of stuff. It gives us a lot of new information, whether we want to count it as canon or pseudo-canon or not canon at all. It gives us a lot of stuff to mull over, and it gives us some really cool new characters, even though there are some old characters that I wish it would also have revisited and then didn't. But now, the play. As I've already mentioned, these theatrics were extremely impressive. Now, my friends and I were sat quite high up in the balcony, so we couldn't see the actors' faces up close. However, what we were able to see were the special effects and the choreography, everything that they kind of used to represent magic. Now, all of these things together, the wardrobe, the music, the special effects, they contributed to an overall impression of something really intense, this like whiz bang, this stuff happening all of the time. And there were scenes in the play that were so impressive that just kind of fall flat in the script because it just doesn't have the same effect without all of the theatric stuff around it. This is a script for a live production. It's meant to be seen as a live thing. It's kind of a given that the text in itself is going to suffer from not being seen as a live performance and experience. Now, even with the show itself being so cool and just enthralling, there were still some really pretty obvious plot issues with this story. Basically, a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense when you look at the Harry Potter canon in general, or just storytelling. They just have to take a lot of shortcuts to make everything fit in a play, even though the whole play is almost 6 hours. The problem with making a Harry Potter play was always going to be to balance having enough of a self-contained story that is satisfying when you go and see it, and make it understandable for people who maybe are only tangentially familiar with the Harry Potter stories, but at the same time it's based on this wide expanse of Harry Potter canon, and there's so much there to go off of and to utilize. I thought the first 15 minutes or so of the play weren't particularly convincing, but then it picked up and it became a lot more interesting and a lot more impressive. This is also when we get to properly meet the two main characters of the play, who are Albus Severus Potter and Scorpius Malfoy. I won't say much more about them here, but I have to say I really enjoyed their dynamic and their friendship. I think they're a great addition to the canon, if we choose to consider this play as canon. So long as we're talking about characters, I should say the play focuses very heavily on certain few characters, and even though I quite enjoyed those characters, it was a bit sad at the end of it all to notice that actually some people I really wanted to see, some people I really wanted to hear about, weren't there. The main thing that I found to be a problem really in this play is the plot. I think a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense. There is a plot device that is used in this book that has been used before in the series to great effect, which I don't think is utilized very well at all here. If it were only a matter of the character mishandling something and then it blows up in their face and they have to clean up the mess, that would be completely fine. That's a fine basis for storytelling. I actually think that a lot of material here was mishandled by the narrative itself. I think a lot of things in here exist to look good in the play. There were definitely things in the story that were a bit weird when I saw them on stage, but still pretty awesome, and I was on board with them because they looked really cool, and the stage play goes at a million miles an hour, so you don't really have time to stop and think about how much stuff doesn't really make sense. But then in the book you do have that time, and also you just have a stage direction. So I guess it's just more difficult to ignore when things really don't make sense in the play in script format. There is one plot twist though that is so completely over the top, outrageous, and frankly a bit indulgent that made me laugh for all the wrong reasons in the play itself. Luckily it was just before an interval, so it wasn't too annoying to the people around me, but there was this plot twist that just seemed so unbelievable, that just seemed so much like some really bad fan fiction from someone who's practicing writing their first fic and maybe, you know, being a bit indulgent and doing some self-insertion. I don't understand why they thought that this particular plot twist would be any good. However, I didn't really mind it when I was in the theatre because I was able to have a laugh with my friends about how over the top I thought it was, and then we sat back down again and saw the end of the play. But I think if I read it in book form first, I would probably have like thrown the book across the room, gone to the internet and started complaining about it immediately, because really it makes no sense. After I came back from the second part of the play, a friend of mine asked me online if Cursed Child had been everything I dreamed it would be, and I told her a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because there was no way that a single book or a single play or a single film or a single anything could be everything that I wanted for an 8th Harry Potter story to be. I've been in this fandom for a long time, I've been reading these books for a long time, so my expectations, I knew going in that I had to temper them, because if I expected everything I wanted, then I would obviously be disappointed. And I think it really helped to do a full reread before seeing the play, because I was reminded of all the things that really annoyed me in the canon and that I didn't think made a lot of sense. So I think in that way it was a lot easier to see Cursed Child with the memory fresh in mind that Harry Potter is in fact not perfect. But I really think that the play was great fun. I'm not convinced about how good the script is going to be on its own for people who haven't had the opportunity to see the play, because I have to say I don't know how I would have reacted to this stuff if I hadn't been able to consume the story in its intended form first. So my overall opinion of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is that it definitely has some issues. However, if you have any opportunity at all to see the play, I would advise you to seize that with both hands and try and go if you can, because it was just wonderfully staged, just really beautiful. You have the crowd around you in that theatre that kind of help just with that mood of you're really happy to have a new Harry Potter story and to see new Harry Potter stuff. I know the tickets are quite expensive, but if you're anywhere around London and you're able to come and see the play on weekday nights, then I would suggest you check the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child website for the section on Friday 40. Every Friday they release a couple of rows of really good seats for I think £20 each. You enter a lottery to be allowed to buy the tickets. I will definitely try and get tickets that way, because where I was sat the first time around I couldn't see the actors' faces at all, and I would quite like to see the acting, because going by voices only, they were so good. I actually want to see the whole shebang from a little bit closer. I will leave a link in the description box below of where you can try and enter the lottery for the Friday 40. So that's it. These were my non-spoilery opinions about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, both the play and the script. I will see you soon, and in the meantime, do talk to me about Harry Potter in the comments below. If you'd like to see more from me, you can check the sidebar right here for more videos, and if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for new videos from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.